In this part, we're taking a closer look at the Jade Summer books I have in my collection. There are quite a few. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in total. So I have been a good customer to their company, but they publish a variety of fun coloring books. Some I like less and I don't buy, and some I really love and think they are fantastic. So it's a nice company to follow on Amazon. They also have a Facebook page where you can see some pages they publish to make people enthusiastic about an upcoming coloring book. So that's nice too. So we're starting with Kawaii Girls. This was, I think, my first Jade Summer book I bought, but now it's not my cup of tea anymore. I hope it will come back to me, the feeling for these kind of cute pictures, but for now I really prefer to color people with more detail in their faces. Or nevertheless, Hannah has also girls without noses and big eyes, but they appeal more to me than the chibi ones. But it's a nice book to have in the collection, and maybe someday in the future I will return to it and be happy that I have it. Although I'm also happy that it's in my collection now. So it's a quick interpretation of the pictures. So they are nice. There's definitely nothing wrong with it, but it's just not appealing to me right now. So this is part 2 of the pictures. They come in 2 copies, and this book already had the black pages. So now we'll go to the pictures I've colored in it. In March last year I did one. I was only coloring about a month or 4, and it's noticeable. There's hardly any shading in her skin, or no shading at all. I really like how I did the hair back then. There are some few reddish details, so that was nice. And the dragon is cute too. But other than that, it's quite basically colored, but for a beginner it was quite okay. The next one, also done in March, I really enjoyed doing her. I liked her hair back then, and I like that I did some yellow on this bunny, that he had a combo of colors. My sky is ugly, but yeah, well, it's nice to see some older works, and then you get a feeling of how you have learned during the months that have passed, or the years. And I really appreciate the earlier things I've colored into. It's nostalgic feeling. Started this, never finished. Maybe I will sometime, because there's nothing wrong with it. I like the color of her hair, although I don't know which pencils I used on her, but a purple is a purple. I will try to fix it when I will be returning to this someday. Did this with my markers when I first got them, but I hadn't had the energy anymore later on to start shading, so it's only basically a marker picture. So, and I think that was it. Was not, no, it's complete. I've gone through everything I've colored, so that was the first one. Then a recent one, Mermaid. mermaid coloring book. They also have another mermaid coloring book, but I don't own that one. It was out of print already when I discovered it, so unfortunately it's not in my collection, but I'm very happy to have this one. I think I love every picture that is in here. They did a great job. There are scenery underwater, in an aquarium somewhere, at sea or at the beach. I mean, it's really a very nice book to have. So a quick flip. I meant this one with the mermaid in a tank at some kind of zoo, or it will not be nice to her to live in a zoo, I think, or maybe it is, because she can't be attacked by sharks there, only by these small fishies. But it's definitely a very nice book, and I only did one in here. I messed up the flower, so I did a lot of stickles on it, and on this thin thing, now I don't think it's called a gown, I don't know, I used Kuretake pearl paint. So that was the mermaid coloring book. Next up we have Norse mythology. I really like mythology. It's fascinating to read or hear about all the different stories that were told. And when I saw this one, and I just had to get it. And there was one picture that got me buying it immediately, and that's the one I've colored in, and that was Hell. I was really intrigued by the zombie side of her body and face. Yeah, I really can appreciate some horror from time to time, and she looked a bit horror-y, or how do you say it? There's variation between men, animals, women, dragons. There's a lot, but I haven't colored any of those yet. Then we have the Kawaii Girls, also a very nice one. I will try to, no, then my tripod will fall. Also a very nice one to have in the collection, although I waited very long before I purchased it. But after seeing some flip-throughs again, I ran to Amazon and ordered it. I only did two in this one. This was the first. She's a base with markers and Prismacolors on top, and of course some stickles on the bubbles also, but I can't get the book close enough to make everything right. I'll try to focus again. And the next one I did was an experiment, but I like how she turned out. I think I shaded her skin, or I colored her skin with basic pink marker and went on top with another color, although it wasn't this turquoise, it was another color, and on top of the pink it became turquoise, or how do you say it? So I was pleasantly surprised with the effect of that. She also has some glitter, some metallic paint on her clothing, and on these things on her head, stickles on her neck. Yep, really had a good time doing this picture, and I'm sure you've already seen a flip through of the type of pictures of this book. So that was this one. Then we have dragons for when I'm in my fantasy mood. It's a perfect one. Only colored one in this, and it's not really how I wanted it to be, because my dragon is quite dark and yeah, how do you know, a depressing color. But on the other hand, I like how the different shades worked out. I did it with Inktense, the dragon. So also some glitter on the water and on his body. So it's okay, not my most favorite one I've ever did. It's a pity that it's nice to have a dragon coloring book, but I would have preferred some more people with the dragons. There are only a few pictures in it, but well, okay, it's definitely good. Then we have the Fairies coloring book. Did quite a few in here already. I really like this one very much. So it just had to be in my collection. This was the first one I did. I used Kuretake Gold Pearl on her wings, but afterwards I wasn't too happy that I did it, and it smudged the page also. I haven't put any fixative over it, but I didn't know that it could come off quite quickly. Or maybe it's the combo of the paint with the paper. That's also a possibility. I did put some glitter on her knees and feet here, and also on some other parts of her. But they don't shimmer as much as I want to. They're not stickles. This is the second one. She turned out nice, I think. We also have her. It's not very noticeable on camera, but I really like how I shaded her head and her shoulders. There's a small tutorial on my Instagram account. It's how do you name it? A photo gallery of how I layer my skin tone. I also did this one with Durer, I think. Yep, Derwent Graphite Tint. And this was the last one I did. It was quite recently. I really like her dress and the water. I've used some white acrylic paint to make these waves a bit more vivid. Maybe it will focus. No, it's not very visible. So that was this one. Then after the Norse mythology we have Greek mythology, fairly new one in my collection, and haven't colored in it yet, but I will do soon. Also a combination of women and men. although I think that some men are look at his legs and then the arms, a bit overdone, but maybe the mythological figure was also a pump guy, but I prefer a body like that. So that's this one. Next up, the dark fantasy one, also fairly new. I think I received this one last week, haven't colored in it yet, but I will do soon also, because I really like this style a lot. They're really doing fantastic jobs on their latest coloring books. They are quite up my alley. Really like this one with a beast creature and then a beautiful woman in the mirror. They may publish some more in this style if I had something to say about it. Yep, really like that one. Another one I like is vampires. Although everything, there are only 2 I've colored in this one, but I don't like them at all. I seem to pick the wrong colors, or my light is not good, or so I don't pick this one up very often. I want to, but I always get that feeling that I'm going to mess it up again. So a pity, but it will go by, I guess. So I did this one. So it's in January from this year, and it's meh. Few others, some I really like, and I hope that they will work out better. Maybe if I do the base with marker and colors, Prismacolors on top, they will pop more. This was only a pencil, and then I did this at first. That was in September 2017. I've written it down on this side. Used Inktense, Prismacolor, Erogiten and watercolor, a regular brandless watercolor. And it's also, the curtains are not a nice color, the walls, no. Lucky enough, there's a second page available at the back. It's also a book with double the pages, so I can try again. Oops, this one my husband colored. I wasn't home back then, but I told him he could grab any book he wanted and color with everything he wanted, and he grabbed my neocolors too. But he did quite a good job. Durban drawing in graffiti, neocolor 2, city style and Marco Renoir, he told me. So for his first coloring, it's definitely not bad. I forgot that it was in here and it could show up. I marked the pages, the second set, for him, so that he wouldn't color between my pictures. So he did quite a good job. Then we have Alice in Wonderland. I have a love-hate relationship with this one. I really like the pictures, but every time, at least the 2 times I colored in it, I didn't feel it. I worked at the pictures, I finished them, and I didn't have a satisfying feeling. There was always something I just didn't like, or I lost connection, I think. So I hope future pictures will be more pleasant. This one is the second one I've colored in here, but never uploaded it anywhere. I really like how the Queen of Hearts turned out, but there's something wrong with her eyes. They're too big. There's, I don't know, but no. Also a base of markers, prismas on top. And the first I did was this one. This got uploaded on Instagram. And although it's not bad, the shading on her face is too gray. She looks dirty. So no, I lost my good feeling about it. No. So that was that one. Then we have the Grimm fairy tales. I really love fairy tales. So when I see a book about it and it's quite my style, I grab it. And the Jade Summer one is definitely one I really like. Very intricate pictures, most of them, I think. But when you want to get lost in many details, this is a great one. I only did one in here. Pure with Inktense and graphited pencils, and then for, I think for her skin, I used Polychromos and Crayola pencils. And all the walls and flooring things were with Inktense or watercolors. She looks quite pale, but in real life the camera isn't picking up the colors very good. In real life she has a nice color. So I'll show a few of the other. Of course they are so, oh, these are bonus pictures from the Little Mermaid. Those were included in the book. See how many little details or stripes in the clothing. Some are more simple, but here's also, and here. Yep. And then the last one in the collection is the Cute Fairies one. Really like this one too. Colored quite a few in them already, and will definitely grab back at it again because it's a very nice one. I like that they now include the mini portraits from all the pictures that are in the book. That's a nice idea. And this is the first one to show. She's a base of markers, prismas on top, and she has some stickles for the shimmery details. She was very nice to do. This one also really liked working on. She's also a base of markers and Prismacolors on top. I tried to do knees. It's not the same depth as I see it in real life, but I really like that I tried to make her have some real knees, or at least they seem to be a bit real. Yeah, it's nice. That was nice. And she also has an elbow, a small yeah. I put a small line just above the point of the elbow, and yeah, it was a fun picture to do. She's also a marker-based girl with, try to focus, yep, with Prismacolors on top, some stickles in her hair. Really like how she turned out too. Especially the light on her dress, I'm very pleased with. And I started off with my markers. I only had a small set of colors, a small range of colors, so I had to be creative to use my my colors together. And I think that the purple and the orange, they were also a match on the color wheel, and I get why now. So and here's another one. Really like doing her too. I really love her hair. Try to focus again. Yeah. And also a bit of glitter, not too much. And that was it for the Jade Summer fairy book and for the Jade Summer books from my collection. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!